Good evening, everyone. Good
Hi,
evening, Jamie.
hi, how are you guys?
How are you, Jamie? Why do I call you Dave?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh,
It started snowing today, so I had to,
it snowed here yesterday.
yeah. I was making fun of Dave this morning about it because he was like, it's supposed to snow today. And I was like, yeah, right. And then it did.
Well, some people like it.
No,
It's it wasn't snow that stayed, but it's been dang cold all night. We were below 0 Celsius, so we were in the 20s, and apparently the next week we're going to be hit by some of the coldest weather ever.
really. Hmm.
So it's yeah, it's winter. It's kind of like winter times happening sometimes.
I don't like it. I want snow on Christmas and I like snow on New Year's, and that's about it. And then it can
Well,
go.
as long as it's just snow and not that. I
Yeah.
hate it when it starts melting and everything is just wet.
Mhm.
Giggity.
Yeah, ice. Ice is not cool at all.
No, and people always forget how to drive in it. So the first week you have to watch out for everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I had to run to the Aldi's. Oh, it was really funny because I was gonna. Apparently, everybody else had the same idea because I needed like bread and eggs and stuff for the week, and I was like, "Well, I'll just go up to Aldi's and I'll see if they have any little fancy. I call them fancy desserts because they're not American desserts. So, and they had it on like the end of the aisle, and apparently Aldi's was packed today. And I was gonna take a picture because I seen marzipan, like they had like these bites,
Oh,
and
did you
then they
get
had
any?
a loaf thing, and then they had a bunch of chocolates. And I
Did
was
you
like,
get any?
no. I was on a budget, so I was, and they were a little pricey, but I was like, oh, I should take a picture and see if that's the what he's talking about. So, but too many people were like crowding over that area, so I was like, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, all
They
the
had a section.
fancy European stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We need some good old candy canes, and that's enough. It was good enough for Grandpa. It's good enough for us. We don't need that commie marzipan.
Oh, that's why I love it.
Well, let's do the YouTube thing. Say hello to Stray. Mr. Snitter, you missed with the wrong baker. No, I'm going to make a lot of snitter. Funny story. Snitter, it's a piece of as you call them, open sandwiches. That it's something thing you eat, but it's also a thing you call, if you would like, a little Colombian nose sugar. The lines you make of those are called snitter as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm told because I don't know anything.
Hmm.
Hey, Snivels, and Lexi is here. You hope we get the recipe. Well, this is actually a very, very, very easy thing to do because all of you, of course, watched my Napoleons hat the other day, and we just used where did I put it? There. We used the short crust dough for that one, and this is the exact same dough. Now we just need a little raspberry jam and some icing sugar and some water. And then we can make these delicious Hindbærsnitte or raspberry snits. I don't know what snitter is in English. I couldn't find a way to translate it. But they, if I made them the right way, they would look kind of like Pop Tarts, but don't taste like chemicals like Pop Tarts.
Oh my
But I
god.
make them round because uh, I think it looks better, and I can use the bottoms. I can use to make other things with afterwards. So it's that's why I love short crust though. You can use it for 1,000 things, and it's super easy to make. Everyone can make a short crust dough. Even Jamie, even though she says she can't bake.
I can't. But you made a snip at Pop Tarts. I love Pop Tarts.
Yeah, but imagine something looking like Pop Tarts but tasting good.
Well, I think Pop Tarts taste good. So you're just telling me that these are like Pop Tarts but better.
Well, I tried. No, I didn't try Pop-Tarts when I was in the US. My kids tried it. They weren't fond of them.
Oh, they didn't like them.
Hey, dude. And Peach, Peony.
Oh,
That
Pete.
name. Hey, Anne, Carlene, JM, nipple cookies. Yes. No, that's for New Year's. I'm gonna make nipple cookies if that's the background you're talking about.
Yeah.
That'll have to wait a couple weeks because I have to make them and deliver them to the family before Christmas. So that'll be a couple of weeks down the line. Hey,
Those are
man.
just your stock photos, right? That's not what you're talking about. Right?
No, this is kransekagestykker.
Gotcha.
This is the marzipan thingies I talked about we make for New Year's.
Okay.
You remember I talked about how we made, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just my photo from last year's batch. And my friends all mock me because I put in these the cherries in the different colors, but my brother loves them, so that's why I put them in because it's like the 90s. No, it's actually great. Hey, Fed, Bringenbær.
Hi, Fed.
You call Hindbær for Bringenbær. Oh, it snowed where Jude lives. Somewhere it didn't snow was where Pixie lives because she's in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, it's snowing outside now. And David said he recreated the commercial if he's talking about riding bareback on a horse in a fur coat. If he did that in the snow, I'm out of here.
Probably something you need to have watched to know what you're talking about.
Well, he just introduced me to some kind of local commercial about it. I think it's called, he's going to correct me if I'm wrong, Dietrich's Furs. It's like a fur store. And he showed me this commercial that they used to play on like regular TV, and it was like a lady wearing a fur coat, like riding a horse in the snow, and it had this awful 80s song that they sung. It was, and I was like,
I need to go buy a fur coat now. Well, when I go to the baking studio, I will be naked. You know that. That's the rule on baking streams. Say around 6. Yeah, but the news said it's going to be the coldest ever. But they say that every week.
mm-hmm.
I'm not making a fuss.
What is happening?
-15 in the south of Finland, north -30. Yeah, go sit in a sauna with some beer because that's really cold. And that's probably in Celsius, so that's very cold. Hey, Sea Swept.
I see.
Greedy bloke is here. Raspberry Nips. What kind of a channel? Well, yeah. Could these cook in an air fryer? Well, everything could be baked in an air fryer, I think. But how big is your air fryer? Because I'll show you. It takes a little bit of a place. A little bit. Is icing sugar also called powdered sugar? Yeah, we call it flormelis. That's of flour sugar, I think. But yeah, it's powdered sugar. But I tried to look it up, and it's icing sugar apparently. I don't know. Cold butter is not specific. Well, it's not hot butter. If you go back and watch my previous Napoleons hat video, I said keep all the ingredients in the fridge until you use them. So that's cold. So don't put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge.
So that's what you mean by cold, is just keeping it in the fridge?
Yeah, because if it heats up, it melts and then it can't stick the dough together because it's a very high fat dough. So it's because the butter make it a little bit of elastic, so you can roll it.
That makes sense.
Thank you. Anything homemade is better than some junk you prepare in a toaster. Yeah. That's why I do these baking streams, because too many people are saying, "Oh, it's so hard." But you saw how long it took to make the dough the last time. It took like 5 minutes. And then you just chuck it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then you can make 1,000 things out of it. And it doesn't take much to make something really yummy, and people really like it. The ones I make, as I said, I make the buttons round, and then you can use them for these snitter, even though they were supposed to be like a poptart, flat and elongated. But I feel like they crack too much when you cut them. But you can also do what we call medals. That's where you put vanilla cream, a little bit of jam, and you put whipped cream on the sides. Then you put the lid on with a little bit of icing on top, and then a little rosette, as we call them, in whipped cream, and then put a little chocolate or something on them, and they look really fancy, and it takes like no time at all. But everyone, when you invite your mom over the next time, Jamie, and you make those, she'll think, "Oh, Jamie got fancy."
Yeah. She'll be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Hey, Danny T, and the White Rabbit. Hello. I'm gonna redirect to the expert when I'm done with this show. He's having a 12-hour stream where he's trying to get his leg lamp. So when I'm done with this, you will all be shot over. You'll all be redirected to the expert.
Aww.
Substitute almond and coconut. Yeah, but I really haven't. I'll try to work on some celiac friendly recipes. I'll and you have my promise that I will forget it at least 10 times, but then I will remember. Gluten-free. And I will mark it gluten-free the day I make it, so I'm sure you know. Gluten-free K. Yep. Now it's on the paper, so now I will only forget it like 10 times. Well, JM, is this the first time you came here? You know this channel is quite obscene.
Yeah.
Pop-Tart was responsible for the death of Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Pop-Tarts are evil. Jamie, say the name of the cookie.
I don't know what is the name of the cookie?
I don't know.
Hindbærsnitte?
Yeah, close. Hindbærsnitte.
Hindbærsnitte.
Snitter.
Snitter.
Snitter, yeah.
Snitter.
Yeah, that's close enough. Am I gonna make a vanilla crunch? I don't have a vanilla crunch. You use. I don't know how you would translate that, but you use a thing so you can press it out because you make them in a long row and then you make them into smaller cakes. I have to think about that, Viking, but I'll try to. Again,
He's gonna
maybe
write.
not this Christmas. I have been thinking about doing Christmas cakes. How far am I? I'm so far behind. You like the beaver section? Oh, that's probably the first first store. I'm so far behind.
The beaver.
Why is the flour cold? It's because when you put the cold butter in with hot flour, you'll raise the temperature of the butter. If you keep everything at fridge temperature, it stays colder because you have. I use my machine to put it together. That automatically makes it hotter. But if you need it with your hands, you add heat to it. So the more you can keep it cold, the better it is. You use salted butter. You are a Danish guy. You buy Lurpak. I'm so far behind. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Wallstrom. But you're lazy. Yeah, well, that's why you're married. Then you can have your wife do it. Don't tell Diva I said that. I'm so far behind. You're exactly right. Everyone likes a brown button.
They sure do.
Yeah, that's very in. Well, I was young in the 90s, so we were more for the front side than the back side. I'm so far behind. No, it's not a hint. I should bring on a picture of it, but it's because it was a little impromptu. You will see a Hindbærsnitte in like no time because Cassava flour is great. Never heard about that. Yeah, go subscribe to the White Rabbit. Can I just keep up? In my part of America, we call that thumbprint cookie. Well, Jamie, I'm so.
What is a thumbprint cookie?
Yeah, I don't know. I never heard about it. If you want to know how evil Denmark was, just watch South Park. Denmark always started the World War because of their fifis got hurt over internet trolls. We got hurt about a lot of things, especially people calling us Swedes. Do I sift my flour? As a professional baker, I would always say, of course, you shift your flour because then you aerate it a bit and it's good for you. And when you mix icing sugar and flour and shift it, you make sure that it's evenly connected. But I use a machine, so I just chuck all of it in. So and I don't dissolve yeast either when I make bread. It's for home cooks. But the technical answer is, of course, always. I'm a lazy baker as well. I'm so far behind. It's a cookie with a jelly center, similar sounds to what you're making today. Absolutely not. Mine is two pieces of short crust dough with jam in the middle, put together, icing on top, and sprinkles, just like a poptart. But Jamie, entertain the troops. I'll be jumping off and going to the bakery.
All right. Are you guys excited? I want to see these homemade Pop-Tarts that he says are better than Pop-Tarts. Those do look good though. I forgot to ask him, is it real fruit in there? Because that looks like a cherry. Yeah, I do not know how to bake whatsoever. If it doesn't come like, I can bake a cake, like the box cake, or like cookies that are already shaped into cookies and you just throw them on a pan. That's about my extent of my What?
Jamie, that's not baking. No, but first of all, nice layer of flour on the table. Oh, I hate this headset. And then you have your short crust pastry. And you just work it a little bit so it gets soft again because it's been in the fridge. Yeah, well, this have been since I made my Napoleons had it, but that's a good thing about it too. It can keep fresh in the fridge for a long time. So that's why I love this dough. You can really use it for a lot of stuff. But just work it so it gets not soft, but manageable.
Did you pre-make that dough?
Yeah, you always, when you make a short crust dough, and that's the recipe I showed you in the beginning. When you make it and you put it together, you chuck it in the fridge for like at least 4 hours. I like to put it in there at least 12 hours. But this is because I made an extra batch, so you didn't have to wait for it when we did the Napoleons had it. So it's from there, but you can keep this for a long time. It's just fat, flour, and sugar, so it doesn't go bad in a day.
Nice.
And then you just, again, chuck a lot of flour on it and start by rolling, rolling, rolling.
Baker does only use the highest grade Colombian flour, for sure.
Yeah, not for cakes. That's for Friday nights. Apparently, I don't know. I don't do that. I'm too old for that. Oh, I really should have made the flour, the butter go into the dough. I made this too fast. You can see it didn't dissolve enough, but that don't matter. This is a very forgiving dough as well, so it'll just be a little extra fatty those places, and maybe bubble up a little bit. But then you just roll it down to, well, it's hard to say. In Danish, you will say 3 millimeters. I don't know. In American, that's 2 cups and a shortbread.
Oh my gosh.
In your measurements. But like, I like it about this thick, so 6 inches.
You know who I don't see is Food Fairy. She can be mad.
And then you take you can buy those in IKEA. They come in a set with like 5 of them. This is the second largest. Take it, dunk it in the flour so it doesn't stick. And then you just go to town. Rawhide. Why am I singing Rawhide now? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I thought you were going to start singing Rolling, Rolling, Rolling again. So you make little circles and not like little squares?
No, because if I did it the right way, I would take it, roll it out, and cut it in like this wide, and make them in the length of a baking tray.
Okay.
Then you do it. You put it together afterwards, but I think it have a tendency to break more easy. And again, this I will use to make what's called medallia too. Probably on another baking stream. I will show you how to make the fancy cakes when you have your mom over the next time.
Oh, she's gonna love it.
Yeah, and you're gonna look like you could make heart shapes, Pixie. That's again, it's that's the best thing about using shortbread. Again, it's really easy to work with. Just and it takes absolutely no skill to put it together. That's why it's a very, very forgiving dough to work with, because you don't just try to keep it, when you put it together, keep it cold and let it rest in the fridge so it settles. And then you have a dough you can use for 1,000 things. You can use it for pies, you can use it for cake, you can use it for almost everything. And
I tried to with it too, Pixie, don't worry.
What?
I said I'd try to get fancy with it too and make like little hearts.
Well, I don't think I have a heart cutout. I somewhere I do have my mom's old Christmas cookies cutout things, but I can't remember where I put them. I took them when she died, and I can't remember where it is now. Jude, you are so right. Jamie is the reason my channel is as great as it is.
Oh, whatever.
If I didn't have Jamie, I would have to chocolate myself, and I don't have that sweet chocolate that she has. And no Mac Parkinson.
I know, right?
Did you see who I had on as a guest yesterday when I was on with Mo and Sal?
Well, I seen you post that Molly was there, so I assumed it was Molly. I didn't get to see Molly though.
Well,
how did that go?
Oh, she's such a sweetheart. Oh, she's becoming a big girl. She had her first, well, the things ladies have. Well, it's 2023.
Oh my God.
Some men can have them too, but she had her first yesterday, and my brother just flipped. Oh, she must have eaten something. I said, "It's a girl. It happens." Yeah, but what if? Said she will probably be whining if it was something she ate that made her
Mm.
have something bloody somewhere. Yeah, but said, how much money do you spend on the vet? Because if you get this upset just because she has a little blood, then you must go to the vet all the time.
So she's not fixed then.
No, isn't it normal you let them have the first go around and
Oh.
then you fix them after? Because I think it isn't it something with the brain chemistry that if you don't let them have the first I don't know what you call it, heat period. In Denmark, we call it running time when they get in heat. Yeah, we're weird.
No, you're fine. Well, I've gotten all of my dogs from the shelter and they like do that for you. That's like part of.
Yeah,
So I guess I never really noticed, but yeah, I think that's usually when you want to do it. But yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, because I know with cats, a lot of people fix them, but we used to uh, have a have a cats and we always let them have the first litter because
Hmm.
it takes the baby out of them. Well, that was that. I probably could have one more, but I don't care.
Danny T made
Thumbprint
80 gingerbread men yesterday. Woo!
gingerbread isn't that big, but it's becoming more. You can buy like gingerbread houses and gingerbread kits to make KITS, not KIDS, to make your own gingerbread houses and stuff like that. But it's not. It hasn't been a thing in Denmark really. We have something where you make it with honey cakes instead. Where that's quite a famous thing, honey cakes. The gingerbread kits are yuck. Yeah, especially if it stands out for like a month, and because it absorbs a lot of moisture from the air. Oh, it's an old wife tale that you let them have their first go around. Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Not
no,
anymore. You can have them fixed before their first heat. Well, it's not my dog. Well, there's a
well,
there's
once
a
it,
sad part of the story.
yeah, once it happens, you have to wait for it to finish anyway. Because
Yeah,
my cat, I got her fixed later in her life, and they said, and you had to like catch her right in between, and it was a pain in the butt.
yeah, yeah. But sadly, there could be a bit of a problem with that little girl.
Well, you could always
That
bring her, and then you could have a Molly. A Molly baby.
well, my
I know.
nephew might be allergic,
Oh,
so that's so sad because he's really connected to her, but
yeah.
he might have the allergic genes. So I
Yeah.
really hope that they find out that it isn't. It's not going to be a problem because she's really connected to that little sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, hi, Winning Reality. How are you?
Hey, winning! Thanks for yesterday. It was a fun stream.
Yeah, I think Baker, I know his HOA is not the biggest fan, but I wish he could have a Molly. A Molly, not Molly. So, to be clear.
Why am I getting a permanent new resident?
I think he's talking about Molly.
Molly? Well, I hope that everything works out. But if I'm gonna have her in when they're going on. My sister has uh, an apartment in the Alps where they go skiing, so I'm gonna have her back in February.
Oh, this will be so exciting.
Yeah, see if she remembers me, or if she's just gonna bite me.
No. She clearly, in that little short you made, looked like she remembered you.
Yeah, but that's like all women. They seem sweet at first, and then
Jesus.
you put it on a baking tray with a piece of paper. Heat your oven to 180 Celsius. If you have the warm air, I don't know what you call it. I think it's 335 degrees in freedom numbers, or we're too stupid to follow the rest of the world numbers. And just bake them for 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, so you're going to just bake those guys by themselves? See, this is... So I'm terrible at baking. I'm terrible at following directions. So you just lay them out and bake them on their very own? Look at him go. Apparently, if anybody just showed up, these are supposed to be like Pop-Tarts, but like better than Pop-Tarts. That's what he said. Ooh. I know. Molly could totally be a support dog. Oh,
And
look.
if when you're done, they should hopefully look kind of like this. And you just, I should do it the right way. I put the bottom with the bottom of this. This I had a little too much butter, so it bubbled upwards. So we just said going to take another one.
I know. I want to just eat those. They look delicious.
Well, you could do that. It's just like a big sugar cookie thingy, because it's nothing else than sugar and fat. So they will taste okay. If anyone wants a machine, it's on sale in Costco, the Kenwood.
Ooh. Thanks, Dennis. $100 off. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was a fast 10 minutes. That's how long I tell the ladies 10 minutes last. But no, I learned from my first baking stream I should have prepared stuff before I go, so you don't have to sit and wait for 20 minutes. Then we do the icing.
He's getting better at this. Pre-bake all your stuff. It's just like TV.
And everyone knows how to do icing. You just take some powdered sugar and always make a little more than you think you should need, because it dissolves. So this, and add a little bit, and remember, when you're doing icing like this, only add a little bit of water at the time, because it gets too thin too fast.
Yeah, he is just like Martha Stewart, but with better forearms. Look at him.
Thank you.
Yeah, all I have is a hand mixer too. Iris, I don't have anything fancy. Is this the filling you're making, you said?
Okay, det timer til 9 minutter.
I mean, KitchenAid mixers always look so fun, but I know I would never use it enough. So I just got a little hand mixer, and that's how I use it for everything. Is that just powdered sugar? Look at
Maybe
it.
I should put my headset on so I can hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I was just asking questions because I wasn't paying attention like I should have. I said, are you making the filling for the cookies?
No, this is the icing.
Oh.
That's why. Don't you even know how to make?
Yeah. Well, then, never mind. Don't mind me.
I'll show you the filling in a second. Don't you worry.
I'm getting ahead of myself. It's fine.
Yeah, you just want the sweet stuff in the middle.
Oh, I wanted to see it.
Yeah, and the filling isn't special. It's just raspberry jam, because I looked up what the difference is. Oh, thank you for becoming a member of the White Rabbit.
Oh, thanks,
The difference between a jam and a marmalade needs to have some kind of citrus in it. So we just call it marmalade.
Peach wants to know, are you making royal icing? I don't know what that is.
Royal icing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Could you use milk and vanilla instead of water? I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Because using milk, that'll introduce something that can spoil. Oh, and thank you for the gifted memberships, White Rabbit. Maybe Jamie can read them out because I can't see them on this screen.
Yeah, we got Danny T, Pixie, Dennis, Heaton, and Carlene, and Emma Lamry. Wow, that was sweet.
Welcome. Yeah. Royal icing. Well, that's kind of like more like if you want to decorate a cake. This is just, again, water and sugar combined. This is what we put on top of Cinnabons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is always hitting the right consistency.
Yeah. Jude has a serious question. When are you going to put out a cookbook for the stuff you're making in merch? Because she'd definitely buy it.
Well, when I have more than 3 recipes, we could look at it. I need to get into a little more bread baking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you make stuff like this, you can always check the consistency. If it runs off like this, it's a little too thin. That'll mean it won't stick correctly to the cake. Well, I know if you go to the Cinnabon, it would be as thin as this, but I like it a little thicker, because how is it with thick thighs, Jamie?
Saves lives.
Same with thick sugar. When you pour it and you can see it kind of stops sometimes, that's the consistency I'm looking for. I don't know how well it picks it up, but when you kind of pour it off, if it just runs off, it'll just run off the cake.
Yeah. How we like it.
And this is the filling. I just use regularly store-bought jam. This one is with raspberry because that's what you use for this type of cake.
Does it have seeds in it?
Yeah, of course. We're not heathens.
I was just curious.
It's and you just take a dabble.
Just a dabble.
A
dabble.
Put it. Well, maybe I should put it on one of those you can see on the camera. Just put it in the middle, because when you press the top on it, magic happens. It just extends.
How fun is this, guys?
Well, it's killing my back, so I need to raise my table when I work baking, but then I can't paint at it. So
I thought you had something to raise it up, but maybe
I do, but I didn't do it because it's an okay height. But today my back is just killing me. So
yeah.
and then you take the top part. You take your spatula, take a little bit of icing, and just gently smear it all over it. So you have a nice coating like this.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I should do it on camera instead of the ones you can't see on camera. And everyone you can use a spatula to do this. It's really easy. So many people think it's hard, but it's not. It's all in the wrist.
Actually, that looked like a pretty easy baking recipe.
Yeah, and you can see how long it's taken to do it. Of course, you have to prepare the dough, and it has to rest for minimum of 4 hours.
Mm.
But it takes, well, you have to measure the ingredients and stuff like that. But still, it takes like making the dough and put it in the fridge. That's 15 minutes. Rolling it out, stamping, or making it into the shape you like. That's another 15 minutes. And you can take these now, and in Denmark we put sprinkles on top, kind of like this, and now you can serve it.
Look
See,
at that.
It's just like a Pop-Tart.
A little Pop-Tart.
Yeah, a round Pop-Tart, but it doesn't taste like chemicals.
You're really hating on Pop-Tarts.
But just remember to put the sprinkles on before it gets too dry to stick. Put it in the middle and magic happens. Really, just rip it, not that too thin. Yeah, Jude, that's how you bake. I have told you how to know when you have the right consistency in a loaf of bread.
Oh, definitely. Peach, do you use a kitchen scale to measure your dry ingredients?
Yeah, I'm really bad at making things up and remembering recipes. I measure everything out with just a normal electronic scale.
You do? Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm not one of the types who can remember every recipe and do everything by ear. And why would you use your ear in the kitchen? That's weird.
I'm kind of like that with recipes. I eyeball everything.
Yeah, but I can't do that. I have a friend. He's really good at it. I'll throw this in, I'll throw this in, and it just turns out amazing. But I measure everything I do, and it's more in the presentation I get shoddy.
Yeah. I know my friends hate that because they'll be like, "You made this thing and it's really good," and what's the recipe? And I'm like, I don't know. I just threw a bunch of stuff together. They hate that I can't tell them exactly.
Yeah, and
she's like
that's
that too.
why I think, like, especially if you want to like this, want to tell people how to make things like this.
Yeah.
Just saying, well, you take a bit of this and take a bit of that. It doesn't work. You have to have a measurement because not everyone has the magic touch.
Yeah, that's what it is. Baking is a lot different than cooking. That's where I eyeball everything is cooking. Baking, you can't do that. I think that's probably why sometimes I am so bad at it.
Stop.
Hi, C. Welcome. Hey, Mimsy. Yeah, there is no faking with baking. You can't just throw a bunch of ingredients together and hope for the best. Yeah, I cannot wait for Christmas sugar cookies. That's kind of why I'm like super into what he's doing right now because this looks delicious.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby, I hope. But And again, it's so easy that just like Ellie said, especially cookies, you can tell what ingredient you messed. Well, I'm not good at making cookies. I don't make them runny enough, so they become weird, small, chubby things. But again, you can just people are thinking it's too hard to bake, but again, if you can set 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, when you go around making your turkey for Thanksgiving, you could have done something like this. And these bottoms that I use for this, the batch I have in the oven right now, I put aside, and I make some more because I have some friends who's going to get these tomorrow.
You're
But
giving
I keep,
away.
yeah, I don't eat much cake. You kind of get too much of it when you're a baker. But the other ones I keep in an airtight container, and then I can either make the fancy cakes, or I can use them when I go to my kids because they like these as well. So you can always prepare a bigger batch and just keep them airtight because they can last, not forever, but as long as they're airtight, because if moisture gets to them, they get soggy. That's why if you make these, make them a little while before you eat them, so they suck in the moisture from the jam, so they can be a little too crunchy. But I like them with a little bit of crunch. This is a random question, but tell other Americans what type of dyes I use in my sprinkles. My sprinkles have sugar, glucose, E904 and E901 to that's the coating. Something to fix the acidity, E330. You have some fake aroma, a little sunseed oil, a little. This is a berry concentrate. I don't know what the berry is known as in the US. E44 and E60 for the colors. That's what's in this one. Yeah, but a lot of sprinkles and all the fancy stuff. There's a lot of chemistry in that. But I like to use because I was in a little bit of a hurry because I set this up so I could redirect you all to the baker. Not the baker, the expert. I just went with sprinkle. Normally, I put on either freeze-dried strawberries or raspberries because I think it looks a little more fancy.
Are you going to take a bite of one and tell us how delicious it is?
Do I put them in the fridge to cool them down? These I will put in the fridge. If I was having you over for a cup of coffee in a couple of hours, I would just leave them out because again, it can't spoil. There's nothing in this that will spoil fast. That's why you don't use milk or stuff like that in them. The fancy cake, you know what medallia is, mess. There's cream and cream and whipped cream in those, so they must be refrigerated, kept at below 5 degrees, or else bacteria will grow in those. So that's why these, again, it's a super easy. You can't mess it up because the ingredient, they're like 5 ingredients in this recipe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not that hard. It's kind of like biscuits, yeah. Maybe, yeah, because again, it's just shortbread.
I love shortbread.
I think it's called shortbread. Come on. Again, it's just 6 ingredients and an oven, and then you have these cakes. And total prep time with everything. If you take away the time that it has to rest in the refrigerator, you can have them gone in less than an hour with making the the dough, baking them, cooling them down, and the only part is that at least 4 hours in the fridge for the dough to settle. But make it the night before, bake them in the morning, put them together before you serve coffee when your mom comes over in the afternoon. Super easy.
Mm-hmm. That was super easy.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull something out of the oven, and then I'll come back in the other studio. We can leave this here. So I'm going to mute this because now I'm going to make some noise.
Okay.
Make some noise for the Winker boys.
I didn't think he used egg, Iris. I thought it was just, but I could be wrong. Thought it was just butter and flour. But again, I'm terrible at paying attention. I know, he's making us hungry now. And then he does all this work and he's just going to give them away. What a good guy he is. It did. I think it. Yeah, it did say an egg, didn't it? Did you use an egg there?
One egg. Yeah. You have one egg in it. So eggy? No, I just used an egg.
So
there's one egg in it just to keep it together. But again, it's just super easy to do, and too many people are afraid to go into the bakery because, it's really hard to bake, and just do something simple as this. It looks amazing, and you don't have to be that good at making it. You can make most of this with your hands. You don't even need a machine. So yeah. I've seen recipes using cup as a measuring tool, 2 cups of flour. You use a mug though. Well, as long as you just scale it, that's the good thing about American recipes because they are always in cups, most always in cups.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter if you have a mug or you have a pitcher, as long as you just scale it and say, well, 2 cups of this I'll just take 2 cups of this. And then you need 1 cup of something else, you take 1 cup of this. It's instantly scalable. I will have to do math to say, well, I need 3 times as much as I dough, so I have to use this amount of. American recipes are easy that way. Yeah, the first batch is always free, and then you have to pay.
I like your next cup.
Well, thank you. My brother gave it to me the last time he was in the US.
Aw.
That's again, just like the Giants. It's a long love with not that much gold in it.
Not much that reward.
1 egg. It's number 3 on the list.
Cold butter, icing sugar, 1 egg, and cold flour.
Yeah. So again, and it's just everyone. You don't need to go and find some Peruvian guy who sells some magic vanilla beans to make it taste extra special, because a lot of the recipes you see online. Do I have my baking book right? No, it's in the other room. But you have, you need this and you need that. No, make easy stuff so everyone can join in, and you don't have to spend $1 million to bake, because making this recipe, a bit of butter, an egg, a flour, it's no money. You can make those cakes for I don't know how much it would be in the US, but probably it won't be $10.
Well, everybody has flour, sugar, eggs.
Yeah, but it's you don't have to, because people think, baking costs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's really, really cheap if you can do it yourself. Have you heard of Apfelpfannkuchen? That's apple pancakes. A breakfast is here at a German restaurant. That's amazing. Well, Apfelpfannkuchen, would be apple pancakes. Or is it the round ones like I had the other day on my Thanksgiving stream? We call them apple slices in Denmark. It's kind of like the same dough as a kind of like a pancake, but with a little. Uh, we only use them for Christmas. Think they put a little cinnamon or something in it, but we eat them at Christmas. Pfannkuchen, Apfelpfannkuchen. I think it's that thing.
Apple
Yeah,
pancake.
the tablespoon measurement is a weird one because is your tablespoon and your teaspoon from the same company, so you know that they have the exact same dimensions, or else you can't use that measurement. You can't scale it, but you can always scale if you need 1 tablespoon or 12, and you take a big tablespoon. You can just scale that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the egg though. Yeah, how many eggs per cup size? Yeah, but if it says 1 egg per cup of flour or something like that, then you can scale that to no. Yeah, you got me there, greedy bloke. You're a smart cookie.
Very much.
Southern tea cakes. Yeah. I never ever buy any fancy flour. I don't use the one with extra protein in it. I don't use the baking flour. I take the cheapest flour you can get at my. We have a few discount markets around where I live, kind of like Aldi. I buy the cheapest one, and it turns out great every time. I know you can have a little extra rice in it, or you can make it a little more crispy. But I never been in a bakery where we said, "Oh, now we're gonna make this, so we're gonna change the flour." No, we had a big silo with 5 tons of flour in it, and we just pulled in that flour. Uh, to me, cake flour, I don't know if there's something in it to help maybe rise the dough or something, so you're cheated by that way. But the things I just made is absolutely plain and simple flour, and a kilo of that costs less than $1.
A kilo.
Yeah, because we do numbers right.
Yeah.
Um, that's and again, that's what they put in a recipe. Oh, you have to use cake flour. I will bet you I can make 90% a result that's about 90% of the most amazing thing you ever made with fancy cake flour and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It's just so they can sell you a more expensive product. Do your dough right, do your preparation right, you'll get a much better product than using something fancy they want to sell you. I don't make æbleskiver. I buy them in a bag because I don't have the pan for it. It's small balls that you have to. I should do it because the ladies really like when I make balls.
I do.
So you need a special one. And back in the day, you put an apple slice in them. Uh, that's why you call them apple slices, but we don't do that anymore. It's true, very basic ingredients, something I'd made the night before. Yeah, exactly. And you can make, as I said, the bottoms you can bake them, put them in an airtight cake tin with a piece of baking powder just to help absorb it with the moisture if there's any. Make sure it's airtight, and then you can bring them out a week later and finish them. It's very easy to make homemade. And again, how much is a bag of Pop Tarts?
How much? How much are they?
Yeah,
Like $1.50.
yeah. And there's what? How many in a bag?
Usually like 6.
Yeah, I made 8 cakes out there right now. I wouldn't recommend eating it for breakfast, but again, I did. I,
Well, I
I
wouldn't
didn't pay.
recommend eating Pop Tarts for breakfast either because they're not.
Well,
I
the
mean,
expert does it.
well, I feel like they're more a dessert than like. Because I remember my mom used to give them to us when we were kids, and like you'd be starving in like 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's just a sugar rush.
Yeah.
Cake flour is lower protein. Yeah, I know. I know it's lower protein, but it doesn't change anything in the end. I will bet you I can make a product with high protein, normal protein, or low protein, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Especially in cakes, because cakes you put so much sugar, so much chocolate, so much vanilla in it. It it's overshadowing everything else. So I would waste my money on good chocolate instead of good flour. Uh, Brown heart on its passenger side.
Yes, she does actually. It's really cute. She has like a brown spot on her side and it looks like a heart.
Yeah, we used to have those as well. The old one you put on a gas stove. You didn't even. Yeah, it's. But you can buy small machines now where you can make them, but it's just a hassle.
Yeah.
You could do that as well, but again, it's a waste of money. To be honest, I never worked in a bakery where we used any special flour, and it's more in the hands of the baker than in the protein in the in the flour. You make 60 cupcake every weekend using normal flour. Yeah, and especially these thing like cupcakes, it's really important. I would sift if you make a cupcake, because uh, you mix that very slowly into the mixture of sugar and fat. So I would air that out and make sure there's no clumps in that. But again, if you like to use high protein cake flour, do it. But I'm just saying, because I know a lot of people are on a budget. So am I. You can make an amazing problem, not problem. Yeah, I can make a lot of problems amazingly fast. You can make an amazing product without having to spend a lot of money. That's why I'm trying to show you with these recipes. Each and every recipe I make, um, you can make for next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When I made my pizza buns, again, super easy to make. You can put them in the freezer, take them out, throw them in the microwave, and heat them up. You, you can prepare if you have kids that want to take them to school. It's super easy to do, but a lot of people think it's too hard, it's too much of a hassle. But it really isn't. It's just getting started. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that some of you, even though most of you don't bake along, maybe when you're sitting on a weekend, if you have kids or grandkids, just try and do this. It's not that hard, and you can get to yell at your kids if they don't do it right.
And kids love helping out.
Yeah, but sifting when you have, I don't know what you would call it in English. You beat the sugar and fat up so it gets all white and fluffy, and then you slowly uh, mixes the solid parts into it. I would sift that just to make sure that every little clump is out of there, especially when you make these great batches. Uh, when I use sweet value. Yeah, and I just saw you talking about it, so I'm not blaming any of you, yelling at any of you. You're starting to use almond flour. Yeah, I don't know much about, but I know that I need to look up for something. And gluten free is pretty. That's okay for celiacs as well, right? It's just a gluten intolerance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and emulsion. Yeah, that's probably what you will call it. Uh, yeah, you cream the butter and sugar, but then we call it to turn in the solids into the butter and sugar mix. Uh, but that's why it's kind of hard making baking recipes in English. Well, KLI, it's almost Monday my place, so you can tell all the dirty jokes. Celiac is okay with anything. I will. Maybe I can find some gluten-free Christmas things. I don't. I won't promise anything. Fold in exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Shenanagram. I'll try to look up something for Christmas that's. But and this is maybe a prejudice I have. I think most of the gluten-free stuff is so boring. It's really bland and it's not that great. So I'll have to look into it. I'll try to find something good. Legendary Racing. Just because of that, I'm going to end this stream.
What?
He mentioned the word we don't mention on my streams.
Cheese. Oh my gosh.
People that do keto paleo like to use almond flour. Yeah, but again, I never tried, but I like to go on a journey with you as well. I can do all the regular stuff, and I can try to do something new as well, because then I get a little challenge.
My mom went through that phase where she was using almond flour for everything, and ugh. But it's just my opinion.
Yeah, but maybe you can spice it a bit, and that could be my challenge. Try to make something, because I know it's a little bland. Try
Well,
to find a way to make it fun.
I think almond
Your
flour.
daughter,
It's just I want to say that some of the like desserts that she'd make with regular flour versus almond flour, obviously they baked a lot differently. I don't know how to explain.
because you don't have the gluten is the network or
Yeah.
the connection that keeps the air inside, so it won't rise as high, and it'll get more compact. Your
Mhm.
daughter bakes fresh sandwich bread every week because she hates all the chemicals in the store bread. Yeah, and again, if you get into a rhythm of doing it every Sunday, it's really easy. You Kaikea is the bomb. It's a cake that's supposed to look like a little frog named Kai, who was on children's TV. It's just a bottom with, I think, like a marzipan bottom, and then some cream on top and marzipan on top of that. So it's sugar with sugar and more sugar and a little bit of fat. It's a shit creek. I only saw.
Yeah.
I think I
I
saw like 3 or 4 episodes. I didn't really get into that. Well, Melissa Jane, according to a few of my ex-girlfriends and ex-wives, gluten-free products are a bit bland.
Yeah.
Jamie, don't
Something.
go there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but everyone, this was a fast little stream. It was an easy, very easy cake. And again, if you ever try it at home, please DM me on X or whatever we call it or something, and tell me if it works out perfectly. Sounds healthy. Cake shouldn't be healthy. That's why you don't eat too much of it. But when you eat it, you really need to have a great cake, because then it's easier to stay away from it, because you know when I get it, it's real good.
Oh yeah.
So, but I have a challenge to see if I can find something gluten-free for Christmas, so Anne can enjoy it as well. I will send all of you over to Monsieur l'Expert, as they say in French, and
Oh my god.
it's because le is the expert is expert, but when you have a le in front of a vowel, you take the e out of it, and it turns into l'expert. You just put it together. Now Jamie learned a little French.
I did. I won't
So,
remember it, but that was really precious of you.
well, I'm a good guy that way. But everyone, is he going?
Yeah, he's live. I looked.
Well, I can see his intro playing. He's there. I'm gonna end this stream, and go say hi to the expert for me. Have a great Sunday night. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I need to play an outro. I can't just let you hang. This one.